This is the Last Giddy Farmer podcast.
Hi there, I'm Toyib Aziz. You already know what it is. I'm the convener of the Last Giddy Farmer podcast. I'm here in Benin Republic to interview someone really important in the Nigerian agricultural commodity space. You know, you'll be getting to hear from him shortly. Do stay tuned because it's going to be very insightful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so I'm Animashaun Ibrahim. I'm the manager and the CEO of IBF Farms Agrocommodity. We are into commodity trading. We do commodity trading within Nigeria and outside Nigeria. And we specialize in grains, cashew nuts, soya bean, ginger, all commodities, soft commodity. We are here for you.
Hi, Mr. Ibrahim, Animashaun. It's so nice to be with you here. You know, I've been discussing with you on X. We met on X actually.
Exactly.
And, you know, we got to meet here in Benin.
Yeah.
Could you just give them like the location of where we are so that they understand that we mean business today?
All right. Good afternoon, Last Giddy Farmer. Nice seeing you. I hope it's not stressful getting down.
No, it was, of course, it was.
So that's the life of a commodity trader. It's always stressful. Where we are now, we are in K2, Konga, Benin Republic. A border town to Ilara, Nigeria. Ilara is a border town between Benin Republic. Ilara is the Nigerian part. Why Ilara, Konga, where we are now, K2, Ilara, Konga is the Benin Republic side. Where we are sitting now is the Benin Republic soil.
Benin Republic soil.
Exactly.
That's really interesting. And I trust that this sort of locality must be diverse in terms of language, in terms of the people here, and in terms of the food. Because when I came around, people were speaking Yoruba, but with this sort of French intonation, and you know. So let's just go straight into the event. Like, what brought you here? Like, what are you doing here?
Yeah, what brought me here really is a lot of commodities being done here when it comes to the light of commodity, when it comes to the light of food, when it comes to the likes of petrol as well. They bring petrol all the way from Nigeria down here. If you can see around, there is no filling station. So, but a lot of major things that really happen here is the commodity trading, the likes of cocoa bean, the likes of rice, foreign rice, and the likes of maize is being done here, and they are well cleaned, good products. The cocoa comes all the way from Ivory Coast and Togo, so they bring it down here to the border. Here is just like a border town. Here to Nigeria, I think when you were coming, you saw it. From here now to Nigeria is just like 5 minutes walk. I think when you were coming, just like 5 minutes walk, and you're already in Nigeria. So, but where we are now is Benin Republic.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much for that. You know, a lot of people have this different idea about going into farming agriculture. Like, so for some people, let's cultivate the land. But you chose commodity, right? Instead of growing, you chose to buy from people that are growing and to resell. Why did you choose to go into commodity trading, if I may ask you?
Like I said, I started with growing in 2016, and the records are there. 2016, the records are, when I started my, it was even in Ogun State here, Wasimi, after E4. And people know that very well. So I was like, okay, I was just on the field one day. I already had that passion when I left school, 2014. And when my classmate was like, IBF, he called me Ibrahim, IB. We are done with school now. What do you want to use your life? And I was telling him, I just want to go and be selling Gary. He was like, you are mad. Sorry to use that word. We thought this hour, you just want to finish and you want to. And I told my dad, that was, and you know, when people talk about agriculture, we believe agriculture is all about the dirty people, is a poverty. People who go into agriculture, maybe the poor people, the people who don't go to school, people, I don't know how to put it. Let me just put it that way. So I started then. So in the long run, I was working in a school. So God so good, the person I was working with loved the energy of putting into agriculture. So I was growing cassava and I was growing maize there on I think over a 2 acre, but it was not up to 2 acre, maybe just the main 2 plots to be a 2 acre. So I started, but on the long run in Wasimi here in Ogun State, I couldn't go, and the tonnage I was seeing, I was not pleased with the tonnage. Yeah. So my grandma was there. So he was one managing it. From agriculture, you have to have somebody there who can always monitor for you. So I did it. By the end of the day, the turnover and the crop was not doing well. So I just have to. I was just on my farm one day, and let me tell you, the first agro commodity I did was from Baba Adini, the son of Baba Adini of Lagos.
Wow, 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 wow.
Abou, if I'm right. And called me and told me IBF. And I have a friend there, Alawi, because I grew up in my two estates. And I have a friend there, and he introduced me to that madam into commodity trading. I was 2016. And he called me, somebody gave me your number that you are into commodity trading. And I said, yes, can you supply me maize? This is the warehouse for maize. So when we tell people we have maize, this is where we load for them down to Nigeria. And this has always been my representative here in Benin Republic here. So you can see their bag is always more than what you think. So this one now, if you are loading like 30 tons truck, I don't need to give you 300 bag. We bag in 100 kg in Nigeria.
Yeah.
But they don't bag in 100 kg.
Okay.
So that is why it's more profitable then. You can load more tonnage. A ton is always a ton.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that is where it
started
in 2016. So I went to take that maize in Oloruda, Ibadan. Yeah. Take the maize and I brought it to Shagamu, Ore, in Ogun State here. So that's where
that's actually a very interesting story for me. Knowing what exactly you want to do and being very resolute about it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, like you said, they see agriculture as a poor man's business. Right?
Exactly.
But it's very different from that.
Yeah.
When we look at a lot of people that are doing fantastic in the sector and what they are doing, and people have this sort of notion that farming is just about tilling the land, or agriculture is about tilling the land, but there are a whole lot of opportunities and activities along the value chain.
Exactly.
Right. And even when you look at the same Gary that you started with then, how much is Gary today now? Gary is saying a lot.
Exactly.
Even the cassava itself.
It's saying a lot. I think a ton of cassava now goes for around 150, 120.
And people who were saying, oh, I can't do Gary, I can't do cassava then. Now they now wish that they do Gary, they do cassava. And also love from your story that, you learned, you made mistake, you failed.
I failed, exactly.
And it was based on that you were able to regather yourself again and stage a comeback. And I like that you took opportunity. Some people will just be like, okay, I don't know how to do this thing. Someone presents you with the opportunity, you're saying, I can't do this. But how will you be able to do something that you've not done before? It's by doing it actually that you get to know how to do it.
Exactly.
Right? So another thing that I'm going to ask you now is that you could have just stayed in you are based in Ilorin, right?
Yeah,
you could have just stayed in Ilorin, trading within the southwest and getting the commodities. But why did you choose to come to this very particular place for the commodity? Is it that this place is rich in the commodity that you seek?
I have to say this, and the truth is always bitter, and I always speak the truth. Nigerians, when it comes to commodity, we love skyrocket things. We want something I can come today, load today, and leave today. It's happened here. It's happened in Nigeria too, in the northern part, but in the southwest, it doesn't happen that way. We want skyrocket things. So the major reason I come here, not that it's cheap, but you can always get what you want at a go. In 24 to 24 hours, you get your full truckload completed. Neither cocoa, neither maize. Even soya bean is not coming out to Nigeria, but soya beans, you get it. And maize and cocoa and cashew nuts, you get it directly. So a lot of people, if I start telling people, okay, you have to give me your money, it will take me 1 week for me to aggregate your commodity, and you'll be looking like maybe you also got the money from somewhere. You have to pay interest back. So if I'm holding your money from 1 week and it's not turning over, it's a loss on you. And you'll be thinking that money you got from somewhere or from the bank, you can turn it over like 4 times or 5 times. And I'm already holding it for 1 week. It has to go on the road. There's traffic. There might be breakdown of trucks. And maybe when you get to the company again, it may take you 2 or 3 days before they offload. So the main reason I'm always coming here. And if I want to, it's not that it's not. I can always go to the north too and get. It's always like that too in the north. But when it comes to pricing, the pricing is still better than the north.
Okay, so I get you now that the prices is one of the things that attracts you, to come here to
And the
source
abundance.
commodity, because of course abundance, right?
Yeah.
Of course you would naturally want to engage in something that there is huge margin.
Exactly.
Margin. So I want to ask you this question based on the answer that you gave me.
Yeah.
Right. Do you think that it's important for investors, seeking to put money in this business that you do, to understand the nature of the business? Like someone is giving you money and you want return quick, but
Yeah.
aggregation doesn't really happen that way.
Yeah.
I want your thought on that.
So when it comes to investors coming in, as a commodity trader, you have to know the peak season of every commodity. Right now, the peak season we are now, today is 27 or 25. The peak season we are now, what everybody is chewing in their mouths, on everybody's lips is cashew nuts. So this is the time for investors to come in now. And when it comes to investors, like you said, they want their money to turn over quickly. At the same time, agro-commodity is not a get-rich-quick scheme.
Okay.
It takes time. We on the field as well, we are not perfect. We're still failing, do our mistakes. But at the same time, it's a thing they can venture into. Let me give you a platform now. I have a platform now. Sorry to use this platform is a cashew season now where we are doing at least 2.8% every month for investors who are ready to give us. Cashew seasons from February to June is the peak season for cashew, and there is always a buyer for cashew season now. From now till June, there is a buyer for cashew.
Okay.
So this is the peak season. This is where you can buy. This is where you can buy cheap. I can buy cheap here, and I know how much I'm going to sell in the company.
That's interesting to know.
So I'm doing a platform. I have an investment running now, 2.8% for every. The slot goes for 3 million per slot. So on the return on interest is 2.8. But if you want to leave the money, 2.8 means monthly. I'll be paying you 2.8 monthly. But if you want to give me the money for the duration of the cashew season, I'll be giving you 3% monthly. I mean, at the end of every month, at the end of the month, at the end of the 4 months, you take all your money together.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's good. It's really good to know that you run this sort of investment initiative where people can put their idle funds, and make significant ROI. Because when we look at some other businesses, they don't really give this sort of ROI within how many months do you call it again?
4 months.
Within 4 months, right? So I'm going to go to the next question. So I noticed that when I was doing research on exported commodities, cash crop, you know them, cocoa, sesame, cashew nuts, and all that. I noticed that we export them in raw form or slightly processed, right? And another thing that I noticed that many of those things that we export in raw form, we import them in value added form. I'll give you an example.
Okay.
Like we export raw cocoa bean, we import chocolate. In that process, we are losing earnings, we are losing jobs, we are losing incomes. You understand? So I want to ask of your thought on this. Is there no enabling environment for processing of all those commodities in Nigeria, or are people not willing to go into that? Is it not really lucrative? What's the problem? Or is there no demand for it in Nigeria as well? We have all these beverage brands, right?
Yeah, in Nigeria.
We have Milo, we have Bonfita, Overtime, and some other companies. Why do we have this sort of thing?
Let me put it this way. Like I said, even our farmers too, like I said, they want something that they can turn over the money quickly. And our government too is not helping. We always believe when we buy and ship out is always the best, which I don't see the good side of that. But we've made it a thing like, okay, if I'm selling in naira and I'll be exporting and I'll be getting my money in dollars. So the major reason people want to export and don't want to establish a company where we can process our cocoa into chocolate, Bonfita, and beverages you just mentioned. Everybody will just want the fast money. Everybody just want to, okay, I'm putting my money, I want to see my money back in 1 week. So I think that mentality is in our head. We want quick money. We want where we can put money and is generating sharply. I have a call for someone like, okay, we can do this, we can do this. And he said, no, I want something I can always get my money back in 1 week, 2 weeks. So that even our government has that mentality where they put their money and then they are getting back their return instantly. So we are getting it strong in that aspect. So that is why you see that a lot of production is not going on in Nigeria. Everybody wants to ship out, everybody wants to earn in $9. So that is just it.
Oh, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate your thought on this, because it's very important for us to get rid of this short-term thinking. Everybody wants to engage in commodity trading. Everybody wants to quickly double their income.
Exactly.
But the value chain is
wide.
wide. There's room for everybody to play.
Exactly.
Right. So we have to, play our part.
Exactly.
And not necessarily look into, the shiny object stuff.
Yeah.
We are not saying you don't make money.
Yeah.
You can make money virtually every part of the value chain.
Exactly.
But is it what you are passionate about or what you want to be doing?
Exactly.
Right. So that's one of that. So I'm going to give you a 1 minute space, for you to just briefly talk about what you would wish to see in the agricultural space, that makes it more efficient, effective, with the way the agriculture is now. It has to be productive, right? We are not producing as we used to produce, right? Our productivity is also low, and the value we are generating, I'm talking about money for our agriculture, is not as it's meant to be like.
When it comes to agriculture in Nigeria, and I think things we are lacking, let me just put it that way, in Nigeria, is government intervention. Without government intervention, agriculture can grow in Nigeria. And when it comes to, we need loans, grants for our farmers over there in Nigeria, and farm equipment, tractors and arable lands, that our farmers. Then at the same time, we need good accessibility of roads. Is one of the major problems you are having in Nigeria as well. So if government can look into this, I think we will go a long way, because a lot of people giving farmers loan are always collecting back in huge interest, which is not even favoring the farmers and the agriculture space in Nigeria. So if government can look into these and provide the necessary equipment, the necessary things for our farmers, I think Nigeria is there. We can feed the rest nation. In fact, we can feed the world. So our government needs to do a lot in agriculture, especially to our farmers, from grants to good accessibility roads, to good machineries and good, then security really matters too. So I believe with those 5 things I mentioned, Nigeria can feed the world. And thank you, Lasgidi, for coming down here on Lasgidi Pushka. Thank you for coming down here to my jungle here in Benin Republic. Yeah, thank you for coming. It's good to see you. Good to have you here. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much.